Welcome back tonight. This is Bard Tonight, friends. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Marie Siobhan. And once again, we are welcoming our fabulous co-host and Avocalian, Maeve. Hello, Maeve.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me once again. It's lovely to see your face.
Lovely to see you too.
And you've been doing a series of interviews on Griffin Eye News. All been very exciting, very interesting. Do you have any plans for anything new coming up on your show?
We do actually. I can't really announce what we're doing just yet because we haven't told anybody else yet, but there's going to be a special episode coming up that will be very entertaining. Let's hope.
Excellent. Keep an eye out for that, folks. Griffin Eye News, very entertaining indeed. Well, I have Maeve here tonight because we have, I'm very excited to welcome a pair of coronets, a Baron and Baroness. This is their first interview. They literally just stepped up as Baron and Baroness of Glymm Mere recently. And I don't think, and see, we've had the King and Queen before, but we've never had a full Baron and Baroness. So let's go ahead and bring them out and welcome them to our show with no haste at all. No, more haste, less haste. I don't know. Let's see if they can find there they are. Wait a minute. Yes, no. Your Excellencies of Glymm Mere. Welcome, Your Excellencies.
Hi, I'm just going to fix our screen. There we go.
Hello. Welcome to Bard Tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So this is your first interview as Baron and Baroness, and I really appreciate it that you got to be here with me, and of course, Maeve, your other favorite bard.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask you to choose between which one of us is the best bard. But, you know, if you feel at any point during my show to tell me that you like me more, I would be fine with that.
I think I've already given you the gift of introducing the two of you to each other. So
It's true. I have to say Disa is technically to blame for all of this.
It's true.
That's not an uncommon situation.
So, Your Excellency Baron Alasdair, is there something about your lovely Baroness there that does she tend to introduce people that cause shenanigans? Is this a long-term issue with her?
She's a facilitator. People like her and talk to her. So, of course, she likes to share that. So you get, oh, come meet my lovely friend here. And then they just get into all kinds of craziness. So, you can't really blame her for making the introduction, which is only good courtesy.
It's true. I'm just being polite.
We'll go with that.
Not intentionally causing shenanigans at all.
No, never.
In fact, as I recall, though, she did get a little annoyed with us, Maeve, you and I, at, was it Collegium? We were shenanigating too late. And she sent me a raven. And I was requested that I return you to her. And I didn't want to. I wanted to keep you. She said I had to return you.
Because you two were blocking people in the hallway to make them do performances. Actually,
ties of entertainment.
I think it was actually Baron Alasdair who was ready to go home.
I need my beauty sleep. I need all the help I can get now.
That's fair. You were both teaching that event as well, and being able to track me down was a slight issue.
It was hard to find you.
Was it really that hard to find, though? I mean, we mostly were in the same place, and like you say, we were stopping.
Not at the beginning of the night. Not at the beginning.
We did move. We did move around a bit until we found a good location, but that was a lot of fun. Stopping people and requiring them to perform a tithe of entertainment was. I've been told by people who were there, one of their fondest memories, and it's because me and Maeve.
I've heard that.
Prevent explosions. Really, truly.
They did.
Bards in the exact same spot. You cannot have that without having some kind of release of energy.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans are very important. And, our lovely Maeve, as you know, is an Avocalian, and she joins us regularly. And there's this interesting, there's an issue that has been brought up by Maeve several times. And I'm just going to bring up this issue real quick so that we all understand.
Point out that I'm not generally the one who brings it up.
You're not the one that brings it up? Really? Are you sure you're not the one that brings it up?
I'm pretty sure you're about to literally bring up a picture.
I am. That's true. So this right here, as it's the official map of Antia, And I'm wondering if, as landed barons and baroness, and as representatives of their majesties, if you have an opinion as to why the official map of our kingdom takes credit for land that isn't ours. This toe right here belongs to Avakal, and this may be an international incident, and I'm wondering, do you have a statement?
Well, I would say that if our crown and their infinite wisdom accepts this as the official map of Ontario, then it must be correct. However, it sounds like perhaps a foreign nation, kind of like the English, are trying to claim lands that maybe aren't theirs. So, as my lands are far south of that particular disputed land, I don't have personal information with that one. But
do you not have any personal information with that one?
I'm gonna have to go with Her Excellency on this. You're sure that you, Baron Alasdair, don't have any inside information about this map in particular?
Just because I know the cartographer that created it, again, it was the accepted map of the crown.
You just know the cartographer?
Yeah, I've met him once or twice.
Yes. He's met him once or twice.
And the cartographer's name is?
That would be Sir Brehan.
Sir Brehan, and he's a large, mountainous shape of a man, I believe.
He does have a certain imposing presence when he wants to.
He is, in fact, the North Shield from North Shield, I think. He's so big, he just shielded everyone from the sun. And then he came to Ontario and started international incidents. So, Brehan, we would like to get your opinion on Bard tonight on this shocking allegation against you, that you are trying to start a war with Avakal.
I'll pass it on just in case he doesn't see this.
And how can you pass it on? Why can you pass it on? Come on, tell them the connection.
Well, because I'm a Baron of Glymm Mere, and he is a member of Glymm Mere. The fact that I'm his squire has nothing to do with it.
Ah! Not at all.
I don't know if you'll let me, but I have an altered map that our royalty who just stepped down fixed.
Oh, let's see how we can do that. Let's see.
Just to throw a wrench in everything.
You're a host now. Can you bring that up?
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to.
Oh, I'm very excited about this. That's right, folks. We absolutely planned this out on Bard tonight.
Completely
Exactly
ahead of
what
time.
we're doing.
Totally scripted. Totally.
Completely scripted in every way.
So his Majesty Ivar now his Grace Ivar before stepping down fixed it. He even added the crown that's missing from our heraldry there.
Oh.
So then he's not claiming that little bottom very corner bit.
Right.
Just oh.
I would say that, and I believe His Majesty Ontier has previously been a guest on your show, so I would say that's matters you must take up with him, and far beyond my authority to make such decisions.
This is true.
But it might be worth talking to the cartographer. I'm just saying.
You could have a conversation with the cartographer, and maybe you could actually get a hold of His Majesty a little easier than a former champion of no accord and a champion of another kingdom who apparently will never be given the option to step down. She is the first and only champion of Avakal.
You're going to be the champion of Avakal forever.
In our barony, we previously had our Lord Defender, Duke Thorin, who was Defender for quite a while, and he kept winning, and they just made him our permanent Defender. So there is precedence in the lineage of your kingdom for a permanent Defender or champion.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain things are different at the kingdom level. Also, please save me.
Save me from this awful place.
Well, it's a lovely position, and anybody should be so honored to hold it. But in perpetuity, might be a little much.
Well, we'll have to check in with our kingdom champion, Bardic champion, I should say. Wow, I just blanked on my friend's name, Andromaca, who also may continue to be Bardic champion until the forever future.
Forever.
Who knows? I don't think there's precedence for stepping down as a Bardic champion, but and what I did want to ask Baroness Disa about her amazing possamont, and if my friend could throw host duties back to me, I've got a beautiful picture.
Oopsie.
That's all right. That's all right, love.
So if you just make her a co-host, you can both share things.
Oh, okay, technical helper.
I mean, it's not like Disa's run any of these online classes at all.
No.
So this is some of your hoard for one of the things that you're very well known for.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is amazing. You actually went to Sweden to look at the actual possamont finds. Is that correct?
Yes. We went to Sweden last year, last April, the end of April, in early May.
About a decade ago.
Yeah, feels like a decade ago. Luckily, it was last year, and yeah, we were able to go in. He actually came with me. We were able to go into the back, into the archives, because none of it's on display.
Right.
And so we were able to actually go into the back and look at the original pieces, because they're all in one place. They're all at the Historical Museum in Stockholm. So it was really incredible. Baron Alasdair said I didn't
She had a bit of a religious moment, you know. You kind of hear the choir in the background. Ah, as the light came down from the heavens and illuminated the trove in front of her.
Yeah, I didn't speak for 5 or 10 minutes. He's like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, okay. Because she just opened these drawers.
Yeah.
The textile curator, Amaka, just opened the drawers and just said, "Okay, well, let me know what you want to look at, and we'll pull it out." And it was every piece of posament. Like, it was absolutely incredible. Yeah.
How old were some of these pieces? How far back are we talking that these finds were?
So they're all from the same period of time in the same location. So they're all from Birka, Sweden, in the 10th century. So yeah. So it was pretty incredible. But then he started chatting with her because there was some wood stuff in the room. And he started chatting with her, and then we all went to lunch actually afterwards, and she invited us to come back the next day to go and look at the wood pieces.
Oh,
That's so cool.
amazing.
Yeah, so we got to come back, and we went into this hallway full of incredible doors.
Oh, yeah.
All these incredible doors, and then
A few new rabbit holes to discover one of these days.
it was really cool. Yeah, it
That's
was really
amazing. And I can show some of. I've got something lovely of Holland's here. This is some of your work, of your woodworking.
Yes.
You're known very much for your cups. You've got the bentwood boxes. You've got a lot of beautiful pieces here that you do. So you're both artisans.
We try.
What were the wood pieces that you saw at the museum there in Birka?
So, I mean, obviously the largest one were doors. Lots and lots of medieval doors that were stacked up for conservation. There was a lot of carvings, pieces off of altarpieces and all. The one that stuck with me the most, though, was segmented bowls. They were these shallow little bowls that had been turned, and they were made of 4 or 5 pieces that were actually tied together with twine. They were not like a glue or a solid piece. So that's, I've kind of hit a point where I'm ready to maybe take a break from the bentwood a little bit and go somewhere else. So I'm kind of looking at that going, well, maybe I got to figure out how they did that.
Absolutely. A new challenge, right? I mean,
Always.
you get to the point where you want to expand your knowledge base. Absolutely. Just going to move something around here. Sorry about that, folks.
More pictures.
Yeah, more pictures. Hold on. Oh, where'd you go? I lost you guys.
What?
No, you're there. There you are.
What are you doing to us?
Please.
I don't know. I'm so sorry. I touched the wrong button. What I was trying to do, and let's see if I can get this to work. I'm basically just trying to show off something that my husband bought for me for Christmas from His Excellency. And look at my chairs.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, beautiful chairs.
This is some more of His Excellency's work, and they're gorgeous. And these are Danteska chairs. Is it what they're called?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're very medieval. Like, what's the story with this style of chair exactly?
So the frame of it, they lumped into the family called the X chairs, which is quite a few different ones. They go back quite a ways. They're really popular 14th century on, and you see a lot of them still existing in museums, Germany, Italy, some in Spain, primarily from 16th century or so. But they're just a really nice, comfy chair. I've been making them for years. It was one of the first big woodworking projects. And, I am not a fan of bag chairs if I can avoid it. So champion the idea of more chairs out there is kind of a personal pet project.
They're gorgeous, and they're period, and they are comfortable, and they're absolutely stunning. And I love watching movies, and I go, that's my chair. Someone has a good chair. So
I love playing that game. Yeah, they're everywhere.
It absolutely adds to the ambiance too of everything going on around you. And I absolutely love it when you can at least have. It doesn't matter if you have a 10 by 10 pop up. It's like, but I've got a good chair, and that matters.
Yeah.
So,
the other game you can play like that is find the Bentwood box in Illuminations, because there are boxes everywhere. Once you've seen them, you
can't unsee them.
They're everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Right. It's a lot of fun. The more you start digging into things, you're like, oh, that was literally all over for 300 years. And why aren't they in movies more? Come on, people. It's not hard to figure it out. We did.
Yeah.
For fun.
Just for fun.
So there's a new art form that I believe you're doing, Baroness Disa. Is it block printing or something to do with your hound ate one of your blocks?
So I tend to be kind of a jack of all trades person, right? So I get excited about a thing and I learn it and then I move on. Well, I did the fun thing about block printing is you can do it with all sorts of different things, right? So I was planning on making us napkins and like a tablecloth, and so I made one of these for him for his block, and then I had a birch leaf for mine right here, and I had pulled them out to start doing the stamping, and our lovely little tiny pit bull Great Dane mix dog Brutus, I looked away for 2 seconds and he had eaten the birch leaf one. So, yeah. It was right after we got him, to be fair, and he was eating everything at the time. He actually ate, Alasdair was making a pouch.
Yeah.
And he ate the leather for the pouch.
After I died, of course.
So it was
large piece of green leather.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh no.
One of the things under the tree was a book on, strangely enough, it was a present for Her Excellency and had a book on Sweden, but it also had a slab of the rubber for block printing attached to it as well. And I guess it smelled tasty because he ate part of the package too.
Yeah.
We're a little more careful with where we leave those things nowadays.
Yeah. So either he really likes block printing or he really doesn't like block printing. We're not really sure.
No way of knowing.
No way of knowing. Yeah.
But okay, so note to everyone out there, as if the leather thing wasn't kind of obvious not to leave around your dog, but the apparently blocked.
Table.
It was on the table and it had been sitting there drying. Like it had been there for like several days. And then the moment he pulled it out to actually start working on it, that's when it disappeared. Yeah. So he lulled us into a false sense of security.
Yes.
Then he ate it.
Yeah.
So,
I understand.
Very smart.
That. He's very smart.
Yeah.
Since we came into this plague, I don't even know where we are. 8, 9 years, 10 years.
Something like that.
Something like that. Your Excellency Baroness Disa, you kind of, well, maybe both of you together, but Baroness Disa's face has kind of been on the advertising for this. You've both been really teaching and pushing a lot of online ANS classes, just classes across the board. You both yourselves have taught multiple classes, and then you've gathered 30 or 40 subjects and teachers, and this has been going on for months and months, where you've had new classes almost every week.
yeah.
What kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say inspired, but why did you suddenly go, yes, I know, I'll do this? Because you were kind of one of the first, I think. You were sort of leading the way in Ontario with that.
It was late March, actually, when I started it. Or maybe, kind of mid-March. It was right after, everything started. Right after it was announced that we couldn't have events. So I actually had an event that I was supposed to be event stewarding in March. And so I think it was that weekend that I ended up doing the first class.
Might have been. They all blur together.
They do. They all blur together at this point. But really, I need a schedule. And I had nothing to, keep me on schedule. And my thought was, okay, well, this is something that I have to have a deadline for. And so I decided, and I also felt like we needed to, I never thought that this was going to be just until the end of April. Or just until the end of July. I had a feeling it would be through this year at least.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to be able to keep in touch and and share what we know and I kind of saw it as a good opportunity to be able to do that. And so so I decided to start a twice a week class series. It's now once a week, but a twice a week class series. Mostly. But he's actually taught like 7 classes I've only taught 4, I think. But I think we have it's around 35 classes now. And it's been really cool because, I there are a lot of people who don't have as much of the technological, knowledge or comfort working in technology. Mm-hmm. And because I already knew how to work in Zoom, I give the people the opportunity to just come in and teach, and they don't have to know anything about the technology. I do all the hosting and stuff. So it's been really fun. It's been really nice, and I've gotten to learn a lot of stuff too because I have to attend every class. Right? So the only time it gets interesting is when I'm hosting and he's teaching.
Right. I was going to ask, how does that work? Do you have more than one computer station, or are you just sitting next to him like on the typing in?
So he's in the garage and I'm in the living room, which actually shares a wall. So I can sometimes hear him through the wall, but he gets the good camera and he gets the good headphones, and then I have to deal with the junk. And and then we run a cable because the garage doesn't get as good of internet access. So we have to run a cable in through that. And especially it gets really sensitive when he's teaching, because we've got both of the streams, running through our internet. So
the sacrifice on the part of all the people in the house, like, okay, for the next hour, no internet, no Xbox, nothing. We're hogging all the bandwidth.
Touch nothing.
No talking. Everyone stay in your rooms and just sleep for an hour, please.
They do that anyway.
it's true.
Now, I believe they were meditating, right? They're praying on their sins and please let me be a better son to the Baron, I think is what it is.
They're all teenagers and early 20s. They're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to be nice, but sure.
Reality is what it is.
So speaking of your virtual know-how, Baroness Disa, but also you were both elevated virtually, and I think were you one of the first baronies that did this? We've had this kind of couple of weeks. There was like 5 baronies and session. How did that work? I mean, was it difficult, or was it just fairly easy to work through? Or I mean, what was that like, having your elevation be basically in your living room?
On our end, it's really weird because they say, here's what you do, which, if you see in the elevation, is very minor. Set up your stuff, record, and you're done. The really weird part is, okay, we've just done this, but it doesn't go into effect for like another 2 weeks until it's actually aired. So it's like, we've been in limbo a little bit while we're figuring out what's going on. Now we're really in limbo, and so it's. I don't think anybody was expecting, any of this is the past year, and everybody's adapting on the fly. So there is a certain level of unreality to it.
Yeah.
We're now landed Baron and Baroness who have not in person sworn fealty or seen the populace yet. So,
In person. Yeah.
Yeah.
In person.
But it's a really long dress rehearsal until the first event.
But you're not having the events. You don't get to show up to court and have everybody be excited to see you. You haven't had a chance yet to give out an award. But I'm assuming you're still getting all the emails and phone calls and complaints.
So funny story, technically, so we're having our first virtual court on the 25th, the next Friday. So we've actually done all the recordings. So technically we've kind of given out awards, but not really. It's kind of like the step up. It was, we record everything, and then can I just make a quick, the amazing Lady Alicia Dubois she did so much work for all of that. And, she's done so much work for Athenaeum and for the kingdom. She's the kingdom one minister, and she's just done so much work. So we did our part, and then she edited it all together, and she did all that. So this time we recorded our part. Our herald recorded her part separately. We have a couple other people talking, and then Dame Eleanor and Mistress Elizabeth they did some recordings of music, and this time I'm editing it all together. So I have some technological know-how, but this is the first time I'm editing this all together. So we'll see how it goes. But I so appreciate all the work that she did on the investitures, So yeah, we've kind of given out awards, but
it's been an interesting one because also our predecessors, they gave out awards at their last court, and then we inherited those awards to actually hand out. So we've gotten a chance to do a little
road trip?
Socially distant surprise awarding. Hi, we're here. Here's your stuff.
Yeah. That was fun to do. That was fun to be able to do. Was that last weekend?
Maybe.
I think it was last weekend.
Something like that. The pictures were adorable.
Thank you.
Like from a distance, get us in, and then in way back there.
Well, it's not like you can mail a seal. They're not going to survive contact with the mail system.
Well, and to be perfectly frank, none of the baronies, the kingdoms, nobody's bringing in any money right now. So if we can, lower the amount of money that, is being spent by not paying for postage, then why not do that, And it gives people a little bit of excitement, right? It gives people a connection, and, we feel like that's so important right now, especially, so.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people feel it's probably long past time to go ahead and just start having courts, because, as you say, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is going to last for a year," and other people were like, "No, it'll just be a few months." And there's all this back and forth because none of us really know the extent or the how sick you can get from this. So everyone's being extra careful right now. So we don't really know if it's going to be 6 months from now or a year from now. So let's have something to look forward to.
Right.
And courts are probably a great way to do that and feel as connected as you can right now anyway.
Yeah. But there is a lot of work to it. I mean, there's definitely a lot of work to the online courts. But we're also planning on, so we have this court on the 25th. We actually have our next court scheduled on the 5th of December, and we're going to do some kind of monthly addresses in between. And we have our weekly Zoom social with the barony, and so we've been
trying to keep people together and connected, and keep people, involved in the game and what's going on. That community is the name of this game, and now it's more important than ever to keep that alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for what you've been doing so far from Glymm Mere, and we're obviously excited to see your courts in the future and to feel that connection. And I'm assuming my awards will be delivered next week, or
Absolutely, maybe.
Maybe.
Spoilers. No spoilers. That's not, you know, I mean.
Spoilers, yes. So I was told to ask, and I won't say what Bard Vavakal told me to ask this.
She's got a really good poker face, so I didn't see her indicate that it was her at all.
She has a very good poker face. So you, Mistress Disa, and Baroness Disa, excuse me, you were put on vigil at the same time as your apprentice sister,
Yes.
who is Baroness Angharad of Bloth.
Yes.
So
yes.
you were, I was there, I was actually there at 12th night. You were both put on vigil at the same exact time in the ballroom.
Yes.
And now you've both become Baronesses, landed Baronesses at the same time. So this is a two-part question now.
That share a border. Yeah.
Then you share a border. So I'm going to piggyback off Maeve's question. So the first question is, which one of you is the evil apprentice sister and which one of you is the good apprentice sister?
Whoa.
But more to the point, are you telling me that not me necessarily, but just people in general need to apprentice in your household in order to, one, become a Laurel, and two, become a landed Baron or Baroness? Because it seems a mite coincidental that happened within a year.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Properly appease the fates. Let's put it that way.
Who is the evil sister? I don't know. I don't think either of us are necessarily evil, but
It's not bad.
The evil sister would say.
Evil parent. It's all in.
Are you saying that it's Charles and Christiana?
The thing is, if you ask any child who the evil parent is, it will really depend on who let him get away with more at the moment. So I'd say who's the more evil Baroness Laurel would probably depend on, who's let the populace get away with more at the moment.
Oh.
Huh.
We may have to question Baroness Angharad about this.
True.
Clearly.
He is medieval.
That's true. Maybe he's the evil one of the three of us. I don't know.
I'm not
He seems to be. He seems to be. But he's a baron. So
True.
and he's actually been friends with Baroness Angharad for a very long time. He actually even
She was one of probably the first people I met when I moved to Ontario.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
and he lived in her house.
Yeah, I rented a room for him at one point in time.
Yes. So I think he's part of the group. So, I think he's the evil one. We'll go with that because I could never think that Angharad, my dear apprentice sister, is evil. And that only leaves me, and how can I possibly be evil?
And see, I don't know if this actually proves you're evil or proves you're not evil, but normally when I have guests on, I like to play the game called What Were You Thinking Here, where I show you comical pictures of yourself. Here was the problem. There are no bad or funny pictures of Baroness Disa. Okay?
Right?
Not a damn one. I'm not making
Right?
this up. Not a damn one. Every single picture, angelic, beautiful, glowing, bright blue eyes, perfect skin, smile, every single photo.
Very carefully curate the pictures that I put on Facebook.
You should have told me ahead of time. I have the perfect one.
If
Oh,
you
find it.
sneak into her phone at some point in time, you would find a plethora of pictures. No, the lighting's not right.
Yeah.
No, there's a shadow here. No. So.
And actually, I started to realize that because where there's a lot of pictures of me performing, being a bard, so it's like there's a lot of that going on. But for Baroness Disa, I realized most of them were the same angle.
Yes.
And they were almost all selfies. And as
Yes.
I scrolled, you, Missy, take more selfies than the king, and that's damn hard to do. It's flooded with your selfies, so you win, I guess.
So, that is Her Ladyship Talia's fault. So she's the one that taught me how to do selfies. And we have the same kind of angle and we have the same skin tone. So when we take selfies together, I'm sure you've seen selfies of us together. They're great. So I decided the reason that I well, they're fun because it's easy. Like we just take one and we're good.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm doing it by myself, I don't really always like them, so I have to take a bunch. But I guess Talia just makes me smile bigger, right? I don't know. So when I started doing selfies, the reason I did that is because I was a single mom. And I realized that I had no pictures of myself. I had no pictures of myself with my kids. I had no pictures of myself in garb. I was not documented. My first picture in the SCA is probably a good 10 years after I joined the SCA.
Yeah.
So I started doing selfies because I was like, well, I want pictures of myself. I'm working hard on this stuff and I want to be able to document the fact that I also exist. So that's actually why that happened, was because I wanted to actually be in the pictures too.
So I guess this is what I say, thank you for ruining my joke. I just look like an ass now. So thank you, Your Excellency.
Maybe I am evil. I don't know.
You improve your craft. Now you have to improvise a little bit more with where you were going with that.
I thought I had nailed it with she takes more pictures than the king, but I don't know.
That's hysterical. I find that very funny.
Is that including her alter ego?
Her alter ego, do you mean anyone who's been mistaken for her, but is it really her?
Oh no, that would be way too many people. No, the difference between Mistress Disa and her mundane persona, then we open up an entirely new, plethora of pictures.
True. There was a picture of you holding your firstborn daughter, Sasha, which I think was like from 1999, you had tagged it, and you look so much like wee Katie Fane, your youngest daughter, that I had to do a double take. Yeah. I was like, first of all, that girl, wee Katie's promised to my son, and she's now having a Baron with someone else. So, wow. Oh, wow. What is she, like 15? And then I realized you. So.
No, that was me. That was me. Yes. And that was, I would say that would be probably 98. I may have mistagged it. So, yeah, my oldest is, 21. She just turned 21.
They have a family thing of the very morphic faces, Change the hair a little bit, and it looks totally different. And it's really weird living in this house and seeing, especially with her older daughter coming through, and it's like, okay, yeah, totally different look all of a sudden. You look like a totally different person. Do you live here? Yeah, you do live here.
That's hard. Yeah, if you have any kind of face blindness, you're just kind of like, okay, hi, I just walked in here and I don't know you, and you're lounging in your underwear, so I'm assuming you live here. But
yeah.
God, I hope you do. So if we could have any event right now, and I promise you there will be more pictures of you when we start having events, because now you are very important.
Yeah.
And
now everyone's going to be taking your picture for you.
Yes, there will be pictures of you, and people will be laying a lot of blame on you. So don't worry, you're not invisible anymore.
Well, and actually, there are pictures of me as retinue, and they are not good pictures ever. So because I always feel like I'm smiling, and I really look angry in every single one of them.
I found one where you were retinue, and you didn't look angry. You just looked like you're like.
Yeah.
Very
Scandalized.
Yes, exactly. There was no bad or anything there.
Oh.
But if we were able to have an event safely right now, what event would you together, maybe you have a different answer, but what event would you like to have? Like you just like, I really need this event and I can go another 6 months without something.
Oh, he's gonna throw it on me first.
I don't have a favorite event. Time to think.
A scandalosa.
Because every event is different and we go to them for different things. Like I said earlier, I mean, one of the big things about the SCA is community. And, there's some events that you go to and the people make the event, all of them. But I go to some events and it's being able to hang out and socialize with people, and that's what made that the most awesome event ever. And then you go to the next event and it's, these classes were just phenomenal. This was the best event ever. And then as a fighter, go to this event and, oh man, I fought so-and-so and they kicked my butt. It's was the best event ever. So trying to say, I want to go to this event, especially now, well, I want to have the great conversations. I want some good classes. I want some awesome fighting. I want to sit back and be, so there's no one event that is going to do all of that. So it's really hard to say, I want this event right here. No matter how much you're trying to get us to plug Embers for you, I'm sorry. It's just...
Embers and Ambrosia, 2021.
I would say, I would love to have 12th night. I love 12th night. It's so much fun, but also I miss camping. I desperately, desperately miss camping in his ridiculously massive tent.
I have a picture of the tent.
It's pretty. It's very pretty.
Because how can you not miss camping in this tent?
That's huge. I had to get it queued up.
Yeah.
This is a city block.
It's 20 feet by 30 feet, and it's
massive.
But that's not all. He's also, because he's such a wonderful woodworker, we have a canopy king-size bed, and we have an instant hot shower. And generally what we actually do is we take you can actually kind of see it in this picture where the other half isn't
enclosed.
walled. It isn't enclosed.
Like down in the kind of lower right corner here.
Yeah.
You've got that open like a patio.
Yeah, so the front 10 feet, so it's 10 by 30 has, is open. And so we can have people come and hang out. And we very often have people come and hang out. And then
come join us. We like company.
Absolutely. Anytime you see us, come and say hello.
They have comfy chairs.
We've got chairs, because he makes all the chairs.
Unless
We're at a sales event, which we're not really going to be doing anymore, but because we start off with a massive amount of chairs, and then he sells them out from underneath me throughout the event. So generally we'll take half of what's left, so we get like 15 by 10 that has the shower and our bed and stuff in it, and then we'll break the other part up as well, and so we have extra rooms.
Cells for the children.
Cells for the children
Or
or for
guests.
people. Yeah, we tend to have guests stay with us too. So I would say, I would love to have a May crown or a September crown.
Her Majesties would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those are events that, everybody is there, and, there is a good amount of time to just be together.
Yeah.
And so I really, really miss that. And sitting in front of the campfire is just one of my absolute.
Well, and I leave this up for so long because I'm getting a little nostalgic because it's so beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful on tier there with the trees and the just it's gorgeous, and yours is one of the most recognizable tents. And
I was going to say easy to find.
Easy to find. His Excellency painted this, I believe.
Yes.
Wow.
And then all the banners are done by
help.
with help. The banners are all done by Anna de la Serra.
And her work is stunning.
Yeah.
Known I think throughout the known world, but definitely throughout Ontier.
Yeah, and if you look around the edges too, there's pennants on every single one of the holes.
Yes.
One.
Oh, I mean, it's gorgeous. How long do you set this up by yourself, Your Excellency, and does Her Excellency sit and watch you set this up? Because that kind of sounds awesome for her. Did you help with this?
I tend to be a little particular about things at times, so
A little bit.
that tent
Not
is-
you. No.
Oh no, I own it quite freely. I built the framework for that tent so that I can set the whole thing up without any help. And the difference being, if I do it by myself, it takes about 2-ish hours to set everything up. And usually what happens is I do the bulk of the setup, and then I go, okay, all the stuff's in the tent.
And
Real job, and then she makes everything look pretty.
I make it pretty.
It's about a 2-hour setup, maybe 3 hours, depending on the event, and roughly about the same teardown.
So it feels so much longer to tear it down, let me tell you. That last 20 minutes, you are so done. You're so done. And to do it for a 3-day event, so you're setting up one day, you enjoy it for a day, and then you tear it down that last day. It's pretty exhausting. So my encampment before we got together was, I had a Norse encampment, right? So I had, and I still have my lovely A-frame tent. He actually took it to an event.
I went to Honor War during King Saverick and Queen Dala's second reign. Honor War over in far eastern Washington. I was there as their camp coordinator, and I took her car and her setup, and I had everything done, set up, and in place in like 25 minutes. I'm going.
He sent me a message. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
It was done.
This didn't take this long. So yeah, we're kind of thinking about maybe doing some of that for more distant events, you know, so that we're not driving 6 hours and then, you know, setting up for 3 hours. And
We travel a little bit.
yeah, we had planned to attend 26 events this year. We attended 3. So yeah.
Remember, I was gonna see you.
I think
We're
that's
going to Quad War. I've never actually been to an event outside of the kingdom.
oh wow.
Yeah. So, so I actually attended my first event in Canada last year at September Crime. So once again, it's, you know, single mom for, you know, long time, and, you know, you just don't do that stuff. So yeah, we were going to go to Quad War, and that didn't happen.
If you decide to go to Great Western War, I might hitch a ride with you, because that was my favorite as a teenager when we used to have it literally in my backyard in Tybergen when I grew up, and now it's like moved kind of north central, and it's like a 10-day thing. And trust me, people, it was a 4-day in the park thing. It was not this massive thing. But if you decide to go down to Caid, I'll sit in the back of your car and I'll help you set up or whatever, because that's the kind of thing where you can go ahead and set up your 5-hour setup, and it's long enough to what it feels like it's worth it, I think.
I almost attended Great Western 1 at one point in time, and at the time I was living in Aytenvelt. Yeah, I thought about it very seriously, going and then hearing all the reports back about it turning into a great big mud fest between a couple of.
That was number 2.
The first one I remember hearing, it was a lot of mud or something, and it was set between 2 dairy farms.
It was in Prado Park, and it was like this huge state park, and it was gorgeous. I mean,
All the reports
dairy
I
farms, I don't know.
it was horrible, it was terrible, it was
Yes, there were dairy farms out there because it's Corona, and that's where we had all of our dairies. But I mean, it wasn't terrible, not to my 16-year-old self, but
making me feel real old here.
Nah.
that's okay. All of our kids make me feel old, so we're all there.
Mhm.
So I have one final question for you, and then I'll let you go. Is there anything that we've been doing during the plague that you would like to see us continue when we're able to finally get back together physically? Because there's been a lot of adaptation, like you said, the online courts and all this. But is there anything that you'd like to see keep going forward that we could, you know, use in our future SCA endeavors?
So I was actually part of the online Athenaeum team, and you know, there was so much positive that came out of that, and the classes that I've been hosting, you know, and all the interviews that people are doing, and I think, you know, and having these, you know, availability to do the investitures online and courts online, it makes the SCA more inclusive. You know, it makes it so that people who have hearing problems can hear what's going on. It makes it so that, yeah, and he has hearing problems. It makes it so that, you know, so that people who can't necessarily afford to travel to events, or who have health issues, so they can't, you know, it makes it much more accessible to people. And also, I mean, the cool thing with the classes and everything, well, and even with Athenaeum, is you were able to talk to and meet and interact with people that you would not necessarily be able to normally. So I feel like we need to keep a certain level of online presence, you know, not full online courts, but have your court recorded, you know, and let that be posted so that you've got, you know, closed captioning, or, you know, so that people who weren't there can still, you know, access it, or do it live. So the people who, you know, do like you know, a live stream where people can actually watch court online. I think that that's a really important thing to do. And I think we really need to keep doing online classes. I think that that's just so great. The other bonus to that is that those of us that teach the same classes over and over again don't have to, which is really nice, because you can say, because a lot of times when I've taught in-person classes, I get, oh, I wasn't able to make it. I really wanted to learn that. I really wanted to go to that class. Well, now I can point them in the direction of the online version. So,
I have been to so many events where you've taught possum on. I've down here camped with you, and you were like, just sit here and I'll teach you. And I still haven't had the time to do it. So maybe I'll make time for the recording, right? Right? We're like, oh, I'll take it next time. I don't know. Like, you get really busy sometimes, and if you're running things or you're in charge of anything, you're
about to say the nice thing with the online is that you get to take more classes as well, because if you're at an event, you're running around and suddenly you're getting asked to help with something, or something happens and you can't take the class that you wanted to take. When they're online, you can be like, I will take that when I have 5 full minutes together.
Yeah.
All 3 classes you want to take at one event are at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
But even this week, like, we were recording our snippets for our court, and it ran into the time that the DEI class was going to be, and so I really wanted to take that, and so I was able to go back later and watch it when there's no way that would have happened previously. So did you want to add something?
No, I mean, that sums up a lot of it. I mean, we are never going to be a true virtual complete society. I mean, we're adapting right now, we're improvising, but we are a community and a culture of interaction. But I think what we have embraced during these times right now is something we started a while ago with the on-tier virtual feeds that we were seeing for tournaments and Crown and things.
Yeah.
And a lot more people now have the technology and the knowledge to access that. So having live feeds coming from events and being able to, to zoom into a class at an event on the other side of the kingdom, or even better, hey, we've got a teacher from somewhere else that is going to teach a class at our event via Zoom. So you can come in, there's a lot of potential benefits coming out of this time.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's not easy, right? It's hard to be apart for this long. Yeah. But we got to make the best of it, right? I know, I miss you so much.
Yeah, for some people, it is literally their lifeline to the outside world. Mm-hmm. Whether because of their job or their financial situation, their friends are all in the SCA, and it's been so hard for so many. And we're all hanging on. Keep hanging on, everyone, please. Yeah. As best we can, keep hanging on, especially right now when things look dire or sad. God, watch another one of the videos or take an online class or something, and we'll just keep doing our best. But
everybody's still here. We're all still in pretty much the same boat. Reach out to each other.
Yeah, don't forget to check in with people. I mean, this week has been hard, the last couple of weeks with the smoke and all of that. But today I'm looking out the window and there's sunshine, right? And that's the first time that I've seen that for how long. So it'll come, it'll come.
Come out.
I was actually thinking more along the lines of it can't rain all the time, but that's, unless you were a goth in the mid-90s, you might not.
That was funny.
I don't speak.
There we go.
I handle it.
Well, thank you, Excellencies.
He's older than we are, so he wasn't a goth.
I was working like a man.
In general.
No,
so.
But I saw that movie when it came out in the theater, so.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you, Your Excellencies, for joining me. I'm so honored to have been your first interviewer. Thank you so much. I hope to see more of you. And remind me, your first virtual court is going to be next week?
Next week on September 25th at 7 o'clock, I think. It's 7 o'clock or 6:30, but I think it's 7 o'clock.
So September 25th, just keep an eye on the Glymm Mere feed. It'll definitely be on there. I think there's already an event for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, good night, Antir. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my lovely Avacolian counterpart, Maeve, for joining us. Thank you to your Excellencies. And we hope to see you all soon on Tier, if not in person, at least in our dreams. Have a great night.